Hey everyone, welcome once again to the Insider's View of Building Your Data Center one DSC resource at a time. I'm Jason Helmick with Pluralsight. I'm joined today by Chen, and you have a very unique resource to talk about today. But before that, why don't you take a moment, tell everybody what you do at Microsoft.
I'm developer or software engineer and work on DSC engine.
Oh, the actual DSC engine itself. Then you're one of the really smart people. So, now the resource that you're here to talk about is the xFailOverClustering, right? Yep. First of all, explain why this resource exists. What's it supposed to do for us?
The resource actually two purposes. One major purpose is for demo. For demo, how to create a resource that configure multiple nodes environment. So the complex environment, we start from something like SharePoint. Is have a domain controller, you have a cluster, you have database servers, and a bunch of stuff. If you want to configure them similarly as soon as possible. So each node could be dependent on others.
So you have a multi-node cluster configuration that comes up with this. Does the configuration that you're going to do the interview with Don about, does it also include like a domain controller, or is this more focused on the cluster itself?
It includes one domain controller, one cluster with two nodes. Yeah.
So it's like a great testing environment as well that can be used for this, but it focuses on the cluster. What's the second point that you were going to bring up about?
It's firstly, demo this, and the second, we introduce a wait for pattern.
Now, this is something that's actually kind of very important. The wait for statements, and some people that, if you got the PowerShell version 4 version of DSC, you didn't see those particular resources available. But a little bit later, and now in, of course, WMF5, you are seeing wait for. What's the purpose to wait for?
It's wait for kind of a generic solution, so you can, as long as you want one node, waiting a configuration state of another node. So you can say, I wait that node on particular resource. As long as that resource successfully complete, this node can move forward.
Now, because in a clustering situation, this would be very important. And when you're firing these configurations you would normally not know what was going on between them. And this allows you now to say, wait a minute, don't continue doing any of this stuff until that other node hits a certain state. Now, we're starting to use wait for a lot of things. So what you developed here in this resource and the problems that you solved with it are really not just for the failover clustering, but are really solving problems across a lot of needs that we have in this process of engineering. How long did it take to kind of get this all tested and put together and make it available?
Actually, very short. Very short.
Oh, good. Yeah. I like it. Very short is a really good answer.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Actually, when I jumped into DSC team before that, I work on other stuff, not really DSC. Jumping into the first assignment is create a configuration environment that basically configure SQL high-availability group.
Right.
So SQL high-availability, if you look at it, it's kind of step by step. In order to do that, you have to create a domain controller. In a domain controller, then you have the two domain controller, one domain controller. You have the two node, class node, which join the domain, and then create a Windows cluster. On the top of the Windows cluster, you configure the cluster as a SQL server. Then the two SQL servers combine each other together as a high-availability group. It's one group. So it's more than the cluster node, kind of middle state, a simple version for the SQL cluster.
Yeah, this is definitely a resource that, I mean, there's a lot of complexity into what has to happen here. So it's a very valuable resource, not only is just as making a SQL high availability cluster, but in the education of seeing how you put all the pieces together on this. Well, we're really excited to see the interview that you're going to do with Don and be able to see some of this code. So I want to thank you for taking the time to do this. Hey everyone, just like some of the other ones that we've done, well, all of the resources that we've looked at, take a look at the xFailOverClustering resources. It's also provided solutions across other product lines and other needs that you may have, but it's a great example of managing an entire environment, including that high availability piece. So make sure you watch the entire video. The link is coming up somewhere around here at some point. And keep joining us for Building Your Data Center one DSC resource at a time.